Marshall DT versus Borsalino is a one-sided stomp, and in today's video I'll be here to tell you why. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we will be looking into Blackbeard and Kizaru to see who would win in a one-on-one fight. Let's get it. Let's start with the Somali guy, Blackbeard. Blackbeard is a very strong character, like even Shanks himself acknowledges him. Blackbeard manages to scar Shanks, and Shanks himself said he wasn't being careless, and Blackbeard still managed to scar him, and this is before Blackbeard ever even had any sort of devil fruit power. Now, this was a younger Shanks, roughly around the ages of 17 and 18, around the time Goldie Roger was executed. We can theorize that maybe around the time Shanks was forming his crew, he ran into Blackbeard and asked him to join his crew, which probably led to the scuffle that resulted in them fighting and Shanks getting the scar. So it's safe to say that Blackbeard is very well no pushover. Looking at his strength, Blackbeard excels in close range combat. In his battle with Ace, he dominated most of the fight. Blackbeard was even on the verge of breaking Ace's neck during the fight using his own physical strength, combined with his Devil Fruit ability, which has the ability to control darkness, absorb anything, and even nullify the power of Devil Fruit. Blackbeard is not to be messed with. It's also confirmed in his viewer card that Blackbeard has Armament Hockey and Observational Hockey. I pretty much guarantee that Blackbeard has Conqueror's Hockey as well, because he has Kindly Ambition, and mostly all characters with D in their names have Conqueror's Hockey. Plus, with this newly obtained fruit, the Gura by his side, this dude has the ability to release mass destruction with the flick of his wrist. So looking at strength physically and fruit-wise, Blackbeard is in a class of his own. Now let's look at Blackbeard's speed. Now this dude Blackbeard, he's really good, and I mean really good at running away. If you're measuring his speed on him being a straight up wuss, but let's just not talk about that. But yeah, Blackbeard's combat speed is terrible. In Blackbeard's battle with Ace, Blackbeard releases an attack that destroys the town, and Ace is nice enough to let him use his attack. Blackbeard unleashes a void of a black abyss to destroy the town, and that attack takes a very long time. Like Kizaru could Pika kick this dude if he tried to pull that. Blackbeard also uses an attack called Kurozu, or I don't even know how to say it, but Kurozu, blah blah blah. To pull Ace in. It basically just pulls Ace in, which requires him to make gestures with his hands and take aim. It's a very slow attack, and from what we see, Ace easily breaks out of his attack and lands an attack on Blackbeard that leaves him crying in pain. I'm not really saying Blackbeard combat speed is low, it's just mediocre at best compared to other top tiers. In his battle with one foot in the grave Whitebeard, he managed to maneuver through some of Whitebeard's attacks, and a few seconds later, he isn't able to keep up and gets completely stomped on by Whitebeard. So Blackbeard's speed isn't great, but with the Gura he obtained, he would possibly be able to make up for it. Now let's look into bro's durability. Now this man Blackbeard is like tougher than steel. Blackbeard's Devil Fruit prevents him from suffering any permanent damage. His Devil Fruit ability absorbs the attack and amplifies the pain of the attack by tenfold. So pre-time skip Luffy Jet Pistol would leave Blackbeard withering in pain but not damage him. Blackbeard was also able to eat the attacks from Whitebeard and tank it, but the result of that is him screaming in pain, leaving him open to another potential attack. So Blackbeard has great physical strength, Armament Hockey, Observational Hockey, and presumably Conqueror's Hockey. He has two very strong Devil Fruits. His speed is garbage, but he has great durability. So, could he beat Admiral Kizaru in a one-on-one fight? Let's get it. Borsalino, also known as Kizaru, is one of the strongest characters in One Piece, rising through the ranks and becoming an admiral, presumably on par with the likes of Akainu, Aokiji, and even Yonkos themselves. Now, Kizaru's strength is no joke. Kizaru in his fight with the supernovas was effortlessly vaporizing buildings and slapping and one-shotting pirates left and right effortlessly. Nobody could withstand his obscene strength, and to add to that, it didn't even look like he was trying. Kizaru ended up having the Straw Hats shook as he was about to peck up Zoro. Raleigh comes and saving Zoro, and Kizaru, simply just being that guy, clashes with Raleigh unfazed. Now Raleigh is the right-hand man of Goldie Roger, the king of the pirates. The fact that Kizaru casually clashes with someone like Raleigh, who could hold his own against the likes of Whitebeard, speaks volumes on Kizaru's physical strength. Kizaru's strength is not the only thing that's terrifying about him. His precision is, if not on par or even more deadly than his physical strength. Kizaru effortlessly maneuvers through Whitebeard's attack and puts a hole in Whitebeard's arm. Whitebeard couldn't even do anything about it. Marineford would have been over if Kizaru decided to put a hole in Whitebeard's heart. He had many options and Whitebeard had no way of stopping him. So Kizaru has very destructive strength accompanied with archer-like precision, which is the reason why he's a monster. To add to Kizaru's strength, he also has great speed that makes him practically untouchable. In his battle with the supernovas, no one is able to touch him as he's toying with them. He's just overall blitzing multiple groups of people at once, and nobody's able to touch him. Kizaru's devil fruit makes him transform and manipulate light itself, allowing him to maneuver around the battlefield without his enemies being able to react. He's quite literally the opposite of Blackbeard. Kizaru can move to the direction he wants in an instant and attack, and it's impossible to stop him unless his enemy has observation haki. Kizaru himself is equipped with armament haki and observational haki. I doubt Kizaru has any conqueror's haki because he doesn't seem to have any strong ambitions. Like, he didn't even bother putting up a fight trying to get Fleet Admiral, unlike Aokiji and Akainu. Kizaru is overall scatterbrained and doesn't really have a sense of justice. He's not as zealous or determined as Akainu and doesn't have strong morals like Aokiji. So it's safe to say Kizaru doesn't have conqueror's haki. But Kizaru not having conqueror's haki doesn't affect him in the slightest because he doesn't even need it. Kizaru easily overpowered Whitebeard in speed as he was able to effortlessly outmaneuver Whitebeard and put Whitebeard in a spot that could have ended his life. So Kizaru has insane strength and speed that outclasses Yonko's. Well, what about his durability? First Division Commander of Whitebeard's crew, also known as Marco, manages to kick Kizaru while he's flying in the air. Kizaru hits the ground and causes a very big explosion. This attack dealt to Kizaru, who did no damage to him. Like, Whitebeard's right-hand man couldn't even leave a scratch on Kizaru. Now, this dude Kizaru basically made people speculate that Marco's strength is underwhelming in the Marineford arc, but that is not the case. Kizaru is just really that strong that even Whitebeard's right-hand man couldn't even hold a candle to him. Kizaru also practically did the same thing against Raleigh. Kizaru effortlessly tanked Raleigh's attack casually and didn't seem worried about him at all. Kizaru is just simply different. We don't have much feats on Kizaru's durability, but it's safe to say that Kizaru can take hits. So Kizaru has insane strength as he's able to clash with Raleigh. His speed is in Yonko or even higher territory, and he's able to take hits from high tier commanders without even breaking a sweat. So yeah, Kizaru is a monster, but so is Kizaru's opponent for today. He's a monster as well. So how would the battle between Kizaru and Blackbeard go? Well, let me tell you. Alright, this is the fun part. As soon as the fight begins, Blackbeard wouldn't even be able to react to Kizaru's speed unless he uses observational haki. And from what we see from Blackbeard, he is heavily fruit reliant, so he would most likely use the Gura and Yami fruit simultaneously. And to no avail, he wouldn't even be able to hit Kizaru. Kizaru gets up close with Blackbeard and goes for a kick. Blackbeard with observation haki sees this and uses his hand and barely blocks the kick and holds Kizaru's leg using his dark fruit to nullify Kizaru's fruit. Kizaru tries to free himself, but due to his fruit being nullified, he struggles. As Kizaru tries to free himself, Blackbeard uses this opportunity to use the Gura no Mi on Kizaru and sends him flying. Kizaru is now bleeding and is on the ground. Blackbeard tries to use Kurizu to pull in Kizaru for another attack. Kizaru easily escapes and flies into the air. As Kizaru's in the air, he releases a bunch of light beams on Blackbeard, and Blackbeard nullifies some of the beams using his Yami no Mi and gets hit by some of the lasers. Blackbeard feels insane pain, but he doesn't waver. As Blackbeard is caught up in stopping the lasers falling onto him, before he realizes with observation haki, Kizaru instantaneously goes behind Blackbeard. With Blackbeard's hand being focused on the air, Kizaru kicks him and sends Blackbeard flying, leaving Blackbeard screaming in pain. But Kizaru doesn't stop and uses Yadamir to cover the distance between them and goes in for another attack and lands another kick on Blackbeard. Blackbeard tries to defend with his fruit, but the insane pain he is feeling is messing with his concentration, causing him to not be able to use observational haki, and he gets hit again by Kizaru. You get my point. Kizaru versus Blackbeard is a battle of speed. Even if Blackbeard was to somehow catch Kizaru off guard once or twice, it wouldn't be enough because Kizaru is an admiral and Kizaru heavily outscales him terribly in speed. So Blackbeard would just be eating attacks with the pain he feels double by tenfold, and that pain will cause Blackbeard to lose concentration and not be able to stop Kizaru. So overall, Blackbeard loses to Kizaru because he won't be able to perceive Kizaru because observation haki requires concentration. How is Blackbeard going to be able to concentrate when he feels more than double double the pain from regular attacks. Like this dude Blackbeard was balling in pain from PTS Luffy's attack. If he were to take a hit from an admiral, Kizaru nonetheless, he would be balling his eyes out, leaving him open to get pounded again and again. So Kizaru slams Blackbeard with a relative ease because Blackbeard doesn't have the speed or pain tolerance to withstand or even perceive Kizaru. If you made it to the end of this video, feel free to smash the like button, subscribe, and tell me what you think.